All right, we're live. Except this is a pre-recorded video. Everyone's sorry we had internet connections, but this is Tuesday Night Unboxing with Brian Skinner.
Hi.
You got a cool tree there.
Yeah, we got a big spooky, scary tree. Annie's getting into the Halloween spirit with her decorations. We have more air fresheners for you all.
So if you fart in your car,
Yeah,
come to Pulp Fiction.
nobody will ever know. We got a Jason Voorhees, got a Jack Skellington in the Upside Down. I got a Boba Fett Terminator. It's good stuff there.
All good stuff.
Good stuff. I don't know what they smell like though. They don't tell you, so you'll just have to find out. I'm sure Boba Fett smells like
Revenge.
yeah. I got this beautiful, wonderful little guy. If you would like a Jason Voorhees bust bank, I have you covered.
A bust bank sounds like something naughty.
It's actually not a bust bank because I think a bust bank is,
Yes.
chest up. So I don't know what you call these, but it's pretty cute. A lot of detail in there for the price. It's like a nice big vinyl figure. I got a pretty cool Marv from Sin City, made from Mezco. Do very good stuff. And then I think the big thing this week, we don't always get a lot of toys, but this week we have some. We have a Last Ronin Playmates Previews exclusive action figure. So you can't get this in Targets, or you can't even get it in Toys R Us
Oh my gosh.
because those are gone.
They're like pop-ups now, and Macy's or something.
Anyway, yeah, you should only be able to get this in comic book stores. I have 3 of the regular ones, and then I did end up getting one golden ticket chase variant. It's black and white that I'm selling for a little bit more money. If you want that, let me know.
Those are super cool.
Yeah. This coming weekend, let's see, today is Tuesday. This coming Saturday is the 29th, and we are going to participate in the Halloween Trick or Read, which basically just means we have a few free comic books to give you all. They are all Marvel, I think, but you get a free comic book just for showing up. Some cool stuff in there, like I think Strange Academy, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, Spider-Man. I can't remember. I think the 4th one was a Star Wars book. And in addition to that, we are going to have pretty all-right collectibles are going to be here guest vending. They're got toys and cool collectibles. I think they specialize in enamel pins, especially if you're into like the Disney pin trading community. They're a big part of that. But they said they have some cool Halloween stuff and other things. So that'll be neat. It'll be a good opportunity to see some merchandise that we don't normally have here in the store. So check that as well. That's this Saturday. And yeah, that's it for me for store news.
I like the name of their store. Pretty all right.
Pretty all right.
Because you always see like best coffee, #1 burgers.
Yes, they're honest. It's pretty all right.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty all right.
Yeah, I like it. I would go there just for the honest.
I think so. Yeah, it works for some people. Okay, so we're gonna save your stuff at the top end. I'll get into some books.
Comics.
Start with DC's. We have a new issue of Detective Comics this week, and I want to let you know that I have the first, second, and third parts before this all in stock, but not too much. This is going to be the last time I do it, so this is your last opportunity to get caught up with on this book. Otherwise, the boat will set sail, and you will miss this really great new creative team of Rom V and Raphael Albuquerque with Dave Stewart on colors. Everybody's really enjoyed this. Everybody that's picked it up and read it. Kind of more of a horror kind of Batman book. Highly recommended. With cool backups by Danny and Sisperier. It's a really cool. There's 2 great Batman comics coming out right now. This one and then the main Batman book. And y'all should be reading them. So last chance for Detective.
And that introduces new villains and everything too. Kind of a
new villains, new stuff. You can just pick this stuff up and read it. Even though it's 1062. It's 1062 issues in. This is a brand new creative team. They're telling a brand new story. You want to start with 1062, or just ask us and we will show you.
Love it.
We also have Batman Beyond the White Knight. This might be the last issue. I think this is the last issue. People have been digging this. The new appearances of characters in the Murphyverse, White Knight verse. We have a ratio variant of Nightwing and Batgirl.
That's very cool.
Roll Manson. They're the star of a brand new video game, I heard.
It just came out, right? Gotham Knights.
Bam! We have Batman Gotham Knights Gilded City #1. I believe this is shrink wrap because there must be some kind of a code in here, maybe like a costume unlockable or something like that for the game.
Smart
So video game heads, definitely check that out. Cool cover here by Greg Capullo.
Love it.
Okay, we got some ratios. We got DC versus Vampires. We're up to issue 10. Very horrifying cover here. More looks like more Nightwing, zombie wing. We also have a 1 in 25 by Ryan Sook for Human Target.
So cool.
Kill Me.
Justice League International right there.
We have a new Punchline series. Remember Punchline?
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
It's appropriate.
It's appropriate. I think so. It's a Punchline. You should laugh. Yeah, new Punchline series called The Gotham Game. We had Raphael Albuquerque do a 1 in 25 that I'm only trying to get $8 for.
Wow, that's cool. I like her little knives.
They look like little batarangs, kind of like half a batarang.
Yes, heck so.
Now, something I did read and I very much enjoyed. We have Riddler Year 1. This is written by Paul Dano.
I'll drink your milkshake.
He's not drinking anybody's milkshake. And I'm not familiar with this artist, Steven Subic, I'm assuming. This was fantastic artwork in this book. Wow. I was really impressed. Feels very much like Vertigo era kind of DC book. I really liked it. So this is an origin story for the Riddler character from the more recent Matt Reeves Bat Pattinson movie. But I would say that you don't even need to have watched the movie to enjoy this. It's just a pretty cool, maybe alternate take on the Riddler or something like that. I really liked it. Riddler Year 1.
Kudos to Matt Reeves and kudos to Paul Dano for a performer taking agency on their character and helping create backstory and how he looks, and then spinning it off to
that's great.
Little piece of
and he can write. It's well written, and just it's a good book.
That's awesome.
It's a good book. Movie tie-in books used to be like, oh, that's going to be terrible, but that one's quite good.
A lot of good Riddler stuff because you love the Riddler One Bad Day recently.
Riddler One Bad Day is tremendous, really good. I wonder if maybe I should get some more. I don't know. I can't decide. Okay, we do have a 1 in 25 for that. Got kind of Paul Dano cowering behind of course, he looks up to the Batman and admires the Batman early on. You might say Batman inspired the Riddler in that universe in some ways. We have the second issue of Sergeant Rock versus the Army of the Dead, and I got more of number 1 back in stock. Love this book, super fun. Written by Bruce Campbell, the Bruce Campbell of Army of Darkness fame.
All these actors taking writers' jobs.
I know, right? Yeah, a bunch of jerks.
I love them.
Taking the money, the food right out of the mouth of hardworking comic writers. I enjoyed the hell out of the first issue, so I hope you guys check it out. I've got issue 2 this week as well. Pick them both up.
And those Gary Frank covers.
Yeah, cool. Gary Frank covers. Eduardo Riso, interiors, the artist of 100 Bullets, and a lot of other stuff. He's Argentinian. He's an Argentinian comic book artist. Really good. Yes. Neither one of these is new this week. This was new last week, the week before. However, I got more number 1s, so this will probably also be your last chance to get caught up on Superman Space Age.
So good.
First issue was fantastic. I'm sure the second issue was also fantastic.
They bring in Brainiac in the second issue. They show the assemblage of the Justice League. There's a very interesting mix of comedy and serious stuff. Flash is always trying to learn how to what's it called? Not detonate a bomb. What's the reverse? Disarm a bomb. So during Justice League meetings, he's sitting there and do you really need to have that bomb in there? He's like, yeah. And Batman doesn't want to be there. He's like, you have 1 hour with me. But yeah, it's this great mix of tackling serious issues and real world stuff with the 60s and 70s with this comedy. When Superman and Lois start doing their interviews, Lois is the hard-hitting journalist, and Superman keeps trying to say but I just saved the world from a meteor. She's like, doesn't matter, blah, blah, blah. He's like, but did you see that meteor?
Yeah. There's some really good stuff here.
Yeah.
If you're any kind of Superman or DC fan in general, I said it before, but it feels like a spiritual successor to DC New Frontier.
Yeah.
And yeah, DC's killing it. They're doing really good stuff. And you should be rewarding them for it by reading their comic books. We have
Bless
a
you, Ryan.
pretty
Bless
cool
you.
1 in 25 here for Action Comics this week. It's kind of neat. It looks like, what is that, the giant key maybe that opens up
Fortress of Solitude.
Fortress of Solitude?
Yeah.
Usually it's portrayed as something very small but so dense and heavy that nobody else can pick it up but him. But in this case, it's literally like massive.
Love it.
Yeah. Oh, pretty neat.
So good.
Okay, that's it for DC. We have a very small Marvel pile. We'll get through it pretty quickly. We have the last issue of Judgment Day, which I only bring up because there's also an Omega issue after that. So if you happen to be listening to this, your subscription is going to end with this issue. And I'm sorry that Marvel does it this way, but if you want that Omega issue, that's more like a one-shot. So you will need to put in Judgment Day, Omega, and order that issue individually if you want to get the epilogue. But people seem to have been enjoying this as it's gone. I am behind, so I'm not sure exactly what's going on here, but I do see all these heroes going like this. Which is kind of fun. I can kind of maybe surmise what's going on there. We have a 1 in 50, excuse me. Marvel's not really doing 1 in 25s as much lately. I don't know what they're doing. But we have a 1 in 50 here by Addy Granoff.
That was great.
If you're into Wolverine, or I don't know, actually, I guess that's one of the Eternals.
That's gonna be an Eternal character.
Okay, and then we have a Moon Knight annual. It's pretty cool. This should be, if there's anything like annuals from before, this should be something you can just pick up and read. So if you're kind of interested in Moon Knight, especially if you want to check out what Wendy's been going on about in terms of this Moon Knight being written by Jed McKay, check out and see if it's your style. We have the graphic novels here, so you can get caught up on the main Moon Knight series, which is being written by Jed McKay.
And if you like that Marvel special presentation of Werewolf
obviously,
by Night,
this was timed very well.
Yeah.
Good job, Marvel. Not very good job, Marvel, on having no Werewolf by Night trades to sell anybody.
Are those Moonerangs sticking out of
Oh
Werewolf?
yeah, oh yeah, definitely. Moon Knight's not a rip-off. Moon Knight's not a rip-off of Batman. What are you talking about? We also have the Return of Strange Academy. That is actually what this is. This is a direct continuation of the first Strange Academy series. So if you were reading that and enjoying that, it is back, called Strange Academy Finals. Still written by Scotty Young, drawn by Eduardo Ramos. Yeah, so put that on your poll if you haven't already. We have the second issue of Exterminators. We sold out of the first one. Pretty fun little girls trip X-Men book. If you had a good time with the first issue. And then we have the first 5 issues collected finally of Ghost Rider, really popular new Marvel series. I really enjoyed this. I need to get caught up on it. Super grindhousey horror Marvel book. And Johnny Blaze is back. If you've been waiting for like a Ghost Rider comic book to read, this is it. Don't wait anymore. This is the one you should be reading.
I feel like we're going to be getting him back in live action soon, right?
Sounds like it. A lot of things percolating, right? A lot of rumors swirling around. People maybe negotiating their contracts out there in the social sphere.
Yeah.
See how popular people react to it. I think, was it Keanu that was like, I would just always wanted to be Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
That kind of like, I feel like anybody else like kind of goes by the wayside at that point, right?
Well, Ryan Gosling said the same thing.
I think Keanu Reeves is bigger than Ryan Gosling.
I
Am I
think so,
crazy for thinking that?
I think so too.
I think Keanu Reeves sells a movie more than Gosling does.
Yeah. And then Norman Reedus.
Yeah, who cares about Norman Reedus? Good night.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's a nice guy, but you have your choice between Norman Reedus, Ryan Gosling, or Keanu Reeves. I think that's an easy choice.
Yeah. I would go with Keanu.
I would go with Keanu. Okay, let's go over to indies. A lot of good indie stuff this week. Like I said, it's the last week of October, so there's a lot of horror stuff, which obviously you know me. I'm very excited. So let's get into it. We sold out of the first issue of Creepshow. It was a fantastic revival of the brand. I thought it was a really great first issue by Chris Burnham. So there's a reprint of the first issue, so we have that back in stock. And then we have the second issue this week with new creative teams, new stories.
So every issue it's different.
Yeah. It's a proper horror anthology book. With different creative teams. This is the only thing is that they're trying to do creep showy style stories. So cool. Tales from the Crypt style stories. So very cool. We have a 1 in 10 ratio variant of somebody's cartoon coming to life, probably going to kill them.
That's awesome.
Always love that kind of stuff. Okay, we have a new book from Boom that is basically just, hey, DC's not doing enough Hellblazer, let's just do Hellblazer. It was great. Wendy's going to probably tell you all about it. Written by Simon Spurrier, however say his name, but drawn by Charlie Adlard, who...
No way, from Walking Dead.
Yeah, that's right.
Wow.
I don't think he's had like a proper American... He's been doing European stuff, but a proper American release in a while. I loved it. I thought it was great. It's a total noir magic. It's Hellblazer. It's magic, but it's got a 1 foot in crime and noir and pulpy kind of stuff. So I would recommend this to people who like kind of British crime stuff, but also people that like anything like Hellblazer. You're not going to want to miss this.
The artwork is great.
Artwork's fantastic. Charlie Adler looks real good in color. I've never really seen a lot of his artwork in color before. Right off the bat, the first couple of pages, they establish this idea that magic requires sacrifice. So her uncle is going to teach her how to do magic, and he's like, the number one thing to understand is that everybody tries to find some kind of a shortcut, and that's how you get screwed. So magic requires sacrifice no matter what. So he tells her, like, you can't, so for a month, don't drink, don't smoke any weed, and don't have sex. And she's like, what? And he's like, you have to sacrifice something. You can't get something from the magic ether unless you give them something in return. So it's really cool. Damn Them All is what it's called. I didn't even say
what a great title.
And I really enjoyed it. I think you should check it out. That's the cover I have because that was one was returnable. It's the Lee and Yuk Lee. We also have a 1 in 25 issue variant by Christian Ward.
Wow.
Take advantage
of
So
she kind of uses the hammer?
The hammer is magic. Okay. It's like her... I don't know, but they call it something. Okay. Like, think of it as a magic wand. It's like Harry Potter's magic wand, but as you can see here in this cover, she's like, what's nice about it though is that it's also a hammer.
Yeah, he also has functionality.
You can screw somebody up pretty good with it.
I can already see people cosplaying that. That's great.
Okay, I did not get a chance to read this one. We have a new Dark Horse horror book called Dead Mall. Looks like fun. Horror and malls always go well together. We also have another new series called Eternal Descent. This is from Opus Comics, who's been doing more like heavy metal musician, like Cradle of Filth. They did
Crystal something.
Yeah,
Crystal Planet.
Yeah. But this one is not, I don't think, based on any specific. It's just kind of like horror and heavy metal going together. It's an original story, an original character. And it's written by Michael Moriarty, who's normally a really good writer. And beautiful cover here by Megan Hetrick.
Can you show us any?
Yeah. Let's look at this. This is kind of boring. Let's find some good stuff. I don't know. I want to see more stuff like here, like this front cover. Is her just like going nuts and here's some angels and some
angels with swords. That's cool.
And rock and roll. And a really great. I love Ryan Gonzalez. You guys don't appreciate him as much as I do. 1 in 25 ratio variant here.
He does all those great Batgirls.
Yeah, he's got this total Lisa Frank thing going on.
That's
I think is really neat. Now for completely going from that cover to Lovesick.
Oh boy.
Not for kids, as you might have been able to tell.
If Red Room had a cousin.
Honestly, yes. Except I think it's much better than Red Room.
Oh, cool.
I found it actually, I think the words I used in the Instagram stories was that I found it very provocative and actually transgressive. And so I don't think it's necessarily like I dare you to read this, but I do think it has more going on than just being titillating. I can't even really show you anything. To be honest, I did pick out some pages to show you guys that didn't have stuff, but just take my word for it that if the cover is alluring to you, you should check it out. If the cover is something you want to stay away from, you are right to stay away from it. Okay, more horror, more. We have. I really wanted to read this last night, but I was too tired. I fell asleep. Nightfall double feature. This is from Vault, and it's basically 2 stories in one, not one shots. The next issue will continue those 2 stories and so on and so forth. But what I was happy with really was the artwork. I just, even if I don't get a chance to read it, I want to flip through and just see if like the artwork is doing it for me. And I thought the artwork in this was really good. So I am looking forward to eventually sitting down and reading this. One story is called The Cemeterians, which is pretty great. I've never heard that before. And the other story is called Denizen. So 2 feature stories, 64 pages. So two 32-page stories. A lot of bang for your buck. And I do have a 1 in 10 ratio variant for that.
Nice.
Scary Skull guy. Okay, we have these back in stock. We sold out of Star Wars Visions. Very hot little book. I cannot get any more of the main cover, so whatever prices they're trying to get for them on eBay, those are the prices. But I was able to get more of the Chris Bocciolo cover, which I think is fantastic. So I thought this was great. Wendy thought it was great. I don't know if Derek read it or not, but this is a lot of fun. I expect to probably sell these again this week. It's essentially manga Star Wars by Okazaki, who's just really killing it. It's beautifully drawn Star Wars stuff.
Gorgeous.
Okay, we have the second issue of Stuff of Nightmares this week. The first issue was a home run sellout. This is by, R.L. Stine. This is the first mature title that he has done for a comic book. We got second printings of the first issue if you want to get caught up, and we'll get the second issue this week, which I haven't had a chance to read yet. We have both of those, so the Halloween season is waning, so take advantage. We have a 1 per store, that same cover here, but in black and white with no trade dress, by Francesco Francavilla. And we got a 1 in 25 that's pretty cool. It's Tula Lotte, who normally does like big, like sexy full body shots, but this is kind of nice to see her just do like somebody's screaming face.
Nice.
I think it's pretty cool.
I sent you an article or something. It was like Boom was saying it was one of their best-selling titles. Was it of the year or ever?
It's old. I mean, we did really well with it. So I
big
can
name
imagine.
in horror, right?
R.L. Stine moves books. Nostalgia, man. Last but certainly not least, we have the second issue of another big hit. Vanish is the new indie superhero book by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman. I really enjoyed the first issue. What I've said before, and I still maintain, if you're looking for a Spawn, if you're a Spawn head, you want something that's like McFarlane vibes, 90s vibes, in all the best ways, this is it. So definitely check this out if that's your brand. Wendy was really into it too. I haven't read the second issue yet, but I'm looking forward to it. So we have that. We still have a few copies of the first issue. Actually, for the first issue, all we have left were the 1 in 10 ratio variants, but I was only selling them for like $1 over cover price anyway, so I took them out of the sleeves and they're just cover price. So you can also take advantage of some ratio variants that just want to get in people's hands to see if they want to read it. Move on to issue 2. And then finally, we have a couple of ratios to go along with it. We have that same Ryan Stegman cover with no trade dress. And then we got another one here by Ryan Otley, another Image banner artist, child person.
Mr. Invincible. And what are Cates and Stegman famous for collaborating?
Venom. Did Venom and Absolute Carnage and The King in Black, all that stuff. That was all those guys. So this is their first indie book that they've done together, outside of Marvel.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, that's all you got, Ryan?
That's it, man. Isn't it enough?
You did it. You did a good job.
Oh, thanks.
I wonder if I could just come over next to you and talk to you.
You can if you want to.
Let me zoom out a little bit.
Should I scoop?
I give my little spiel. Since we're not live, this is pre-recorded. Special guest on Weekend Update, Ryan Skinner. All right.
Derek, you stupid slut.
That's true. Don't tell Megan. All right. So I got my own little list of pop culture things here. Black Adam. Are you going to see it?
Eventually.
The hierarchy of power in DC
has changed. Forever.
Made $67 million, the most for a rock movie that he's the star of.
Right.
So not the Fast and the Furious movies.
Right.
But biggest.
Bigger than Jungle Book or
Hobbs and Shaw. And then $140 million worldwide. So it's a hit.
Okay.
My review, I'll keep it pithy. I won't spoil anything for you. Opening shot, I'm like, ooh. This is kind of looking rough. And they're like zooming through exposition. And I'm like, ugh. And it really felt like this was a movie that was highly edited and highly focus grouped. So I'm like, okay, I can see where the critics are probably picking it apart. But then it settles into it, and he's just great. He's great as Black Adam. He's born to play this role. He's obviously been trying to do this for 10 years plus or something. And then the JSA is super charming. They're great.
Good.
Dr. Fate's awesome. Hawkman's great. The kids, Cyclone and Atom Smasher have great chemistry. From the stills, I didn't like Cyclone's costume. Like, it doesn't look comics accurate. She's amazing, and her special effects of the wind stuff, she's really cool. So JSA is great, and the third act is just kind of like okay, but it's fun where it needs to be. There's a lot of action, a lot of fighting, and it's just it hits all those beats. So I think them giving it the critics giving it like what 40%, it's just not warranted because it's just as good as like a mid-level Marvel or DC movie. Audiences love it though, 90%. Have you heard about certain things?
Yes.
So there's a reason why I love the movie, which I won't say exactly what.
Christmas came early for you.
Yeah, but actually I can say what. I won't say what happens in the movie, but that's my next. Henry Cavill made a post about it. So Superman is back. Henry Cavill is playing Superman again. They're going to do Man of Steel 2. They're looking to do Black Adam versus Superman and also a Black Adam 2. DC is going to be cooking, which leads me to my next thing, which I wanted to get your opinion on. Today they announced new heads of DC Studios. They're calling it DC Studios now. So the day that Black Adam came out, Walter Hamada resigned. So now James Gunn and Peter Safran are to head DC Studios.
No kidding.
What do you think about it?
I don't know who the other guy is.
He's coincidentally he's friends with James Wan too. Walter Hamada was friends with James Wan, but Walter Hamada beefed with the actor who played Cyborg. He didn't want to continue with Cavill or Affleck. He didn't like the Snyder Cut. He wanted to focus on. He did the Batgirl movie. He wanted to focus on Michael Keaton being Batman now, and the Batgirl and a new girl being Supergirl. But Peter Safran produces a lot of James Wan's movies, so he's producing horror movies, and he's also an agent and manager. So he's going to handle the business side stuff, and James Gunn is going to handle more of the creative stuff.
I love James Gunn.
Yeah, me too.
And I was actually surprised that people were not even more effusive with Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
So actually, this is nice to hear actually, because Suicide Squad, I mean, it wasn't a failure or anything like that, but it wasn't. It wasn't quite like the massive hit that I was kind of hoping and expecting it to be.
Well, because that was one of the things they released day and date on HBO Max, and people were.
But I knew we were in trouble when I had a customer that came in who's a massive Harley Quinn fan, and I was like, "Oh, did you see the new Suicide Squad?" She's like, "No." I'm like, "Why?" She's like, "Well, the last one." I'm like, "Yeah, but this is the new guy, and you should, And she just didn't even. So they did some damage to themselves, I guess, apparently with the other movie. I don't know.
I thought it was weird to call it the Suicide Squad.
They should have. I don't know.
They should just call it Suicide Squad 2.
Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, I feel like he ticks a lot of boxes. People complain about maybe the DC movies that are very serious and they want more levity. He understands that.
Yeah.
James Gunn also comes from a horror background and very dark films, by the way.
Slither, have you seen it?
Slither is even like Sleepless. I mean, I like Super. Really. So I think he also understands like when something needs to be like a more serious, dark tone. And he seems to love comic books and the characters and stuff. So I don't want everything to feel like a James Gunn movie. Yeah. Because that's not actually appropriate, probably, for what they're doing. But that's great. Yeah, let him do all the things.
I think I was telling Megan wasn't happy about the news, but I was telling her why I thought it was great. Number one, he comes from like low budget indie horror. Mm-hmm. He comes from Troma stuff, and now he's the head of a studio. Yeah. That's amazing. Two, he has his own style, which I think fits for a Peacemaker and Guardians of the Galaxy and the Suicide Squad. But I don't think like you said, I don't think he's going to force people in that box because he's a huge Snyder head. Yeah. He's influenced by Zack Snyder, like Zack Snyder. So I'm even like, can we get Justice League 2 from Zack Snyder? And he's supportive of the Ayer cut because the Suicide Squad movie, the first one by David Ayer that everyone, not everyone, but it did actually make a ton of money. Yeah. Yeah. That was like they had 23 different edits of that went out to theaters. So there's the whole thing of release the Snyder cut, release the Ayer cut, And James Gunn's been supportive of that. So maybe we'll see David Ayer's original version of what he wanted Suicide Squad to be before they completely heavily edit it. So I'm really excited about the future, especially because there's going to be a lot more Henry Cavill Superman. So.
Henry Cavill's a wonderful Superman.
Yeah.
I just want a better Superman vehicle for him. But I think that he was born to play the role.
Yeah. I'm super, super stoked. Speaking of James Gunn, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special trailer dropped today.
I didn't see it, but I heard somebody say something.
Kevin Bacon is going to be in. It's very silly and fun. It's going to be one of those Marvel special presentations, so probably an hour long. And it's Peter Quill is sad because Gamora's not around. So they're like, well, we checked our calendar. It's almost Christmas time at Earth, so let's take him to Earth and cheer him up. And what would cheer him up? Kidnapping Kevin Bacon would.
I just right, because I didn't even make that connection.
Because he loves
Footloose.
Footloose, yeah. The best movie of all time.
Right.
It never was, according to Peter Parker.
Yeah. That's good. That's great. There was something. Oh, the Ant-Man trailer.
Yes, Ant-Man trailer was my next thing. Did you see that? What did you think?
I did. It looks like fun. I've enjoyed the Ant-Man movies. They're going like full sci-fi.
Yeah.
With this. And Kang looks like Kang. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna not like a Paul Rudd movie. Both my wife and I love him very much.
Yeah.
So as long as they let him be a little bit Paul Rudd, it's gonna be worth a watch.
It starts with which Marvel property said that he had a podcast? Is that She-Hulk?
I don't know.
So it's somewhere in canon that like Ant-Man has a podcast.
Oh, okay.
So the trailer starts really, cleverly with Baskin Robbins, employee of the century.
Yeah.
And it's Ant-Man, and he's just enjoying being Ant-Man. And then of course something goes sideways and they go down to the quantum realm, which as you said looks really cool and sci-fi. They recast the daughter.
I wouldn't.
It's a gal from the show Supernatural, which I love. So I'm excited to see her. I feel bad for the other gal getting replaced, but because they did age up the daughter for Endgame, right?
Right.
The blip.
Snap.
But yeah, I'm very excited about that. Last bit of Marvel news. I think this was announced last week, but we didn't talk about it. Harrison Ford will now take over as Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross.
That's right. Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Great.
The grumpy old man,
Don't forget we had Robert Redford, and that to me is the same level.
Yes.
It's like, but you kind of knew it's like, well, it's gonna be one movie.
Yeah.
It's not gonna be. But man, it'd be great. I mean, they gotta kill him, right? I feel like the only way.
Well, no, I think they gotta make him Red Hulk.
Yeah, but it's Harrison Ford. He doesn't want to do
with
anything.
He doesn't want his face.
Harrison Ford is like, I'll do it if you kill me.
Yeah.
Like, so I only have to do it like one time.
Because he said the last
No,
D23. He's like, I'm not gonna fall down for you guys anymore.
You're right, because they'll make him Red Hulk, which will be a CGI thing.
Yeah.
And he'll never have to go into the office.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is.
They could just record his face.
We really like to get you in the Marvel universe. Well, can you make me one of those ones that's like a cartoon?
Yeah. Make me one of those purple guys.
So I don't have to. I'll come for one movie, but that's it.
And they did mention Red Hulk in the She-Hulk show, so I'm excited about that. Your twin, do you not like when I say that you look like Damon Lindelof?
Right.
Damon Lindelof is making his own Star Wars movie.
Okay.
It's a standalone. They were writing in secret. I guess they had a secret writer's room after one of these D23s. And it could be a series, but they're only doing one to see how it goes first. And they say that they're possibly using sequel trilogy characters, but it's not a Skywalker saga.
Thank God.
So I mean, that means they're probably not using Rey, but maybe they're using Finn or Poe.
Finn ain't coming back. I don't think Poe's coming back either. Both of those guys have not had any nice things to say.
Who knows? Well, maybe it'll be Maz Kanata,
It'll be that.
the little character, and BB-8 or whatever. And I can't say her name, so forgive me. Charmin Obaid Chinoy, the Miss Marvel director, is set to direct this film. I looked up this gal. She's like a super accomplished journalist and like documentary filmmaker. She's won like 2 Academy Awards. So I was like, wow,
Slumming
she's really an impressive woman who's going to direct a Star Wars movie here. So we'll see. I think you and I both agree that we don't need to see a Skywalker movie.
No more Skywalkers.
I wanted to ask you about this new Silent Hill games and movie.
I watched that thing.
So what is it? What's going on?
They're remaking Silent Hill 2, which is.
Why would they do that?
Because people who are fans of that stuff typically consider 2 to be the best in the franchise, and it's not. It's a standalone kind of game. It's like just its own thing, and some people consider it the best video game ever made. So it's like it's one of those things. It's a big deal.
Yeah.
Also, because the company that makes those seemingly and maybe still doesn't really want to make video games anymore. They have all these licenses, but they don't really want to make games, so they just make pachinko machines.
Oh wow!
They make Silent Hill pachinko machines and Metal Gear Solid pachinko machines, and we'll see. I mean, I'm excited. I definitely. And then they have two other games that they're farming out to
called
other
Silent Hill F.
I think that might be like a code word for it or something. There's a new one that I think is as close as they get to having some kind of numbered entries. That'll be, I think, by like a German studio or European studio of some sort. And it's going to be a Silent Hill game that takes place in Japan, which is cool, during the 60s, which is cool. Anything that's different. And then the other one, I'm not too familiar with video game stuff anymore. There are people who made a game called Layers of Fear that Eduardo was like all about it. And they're making a game as well. So
and they're doing a new movie.
That Christophe Gans is actually involved in. I'm actually a huge fan of that first one. I didn't see the sequels, but that they're getting him back is I mean, Silent Hill has all kinds of potential. It's one of the best horror things ever.
Awesome.
So if people want horror things,
yes, we do.
You could do worse than Silent Hill stuff.
That's cool. Well, that was an exciting announcement. Hot D finale. I can't talk to you about it because you didn't see it. I haven't seen it yet.
Maybe tonight.
It ended and had a huge viewership, and now we have to wait. Hopefully, just a year.
Yeah.
Hopefully, not 2 years.
Yeah.
Megan and I just feel mixed on the whole thing. I won't say why, but just overall, I think that first season covers like 30 years. And I went and counted. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think there's 6 time jumps.
Yeah.
Some of them are like 6 months later, but other ones are like 10 years later. So it's like, what?
I feel like they got that all out of the way in this season. I think.
Yeah. I hope so.
It feels like they were setting the chessboard up for next season.
Yeah, but
I've by and large enjoyed it very much. So.
I still feel like this season could have been like cut into 2, because you saw what happened to Strong, right?
Mark? Sweet.
No, not Mark Strong, but the Strong. How far? How?
I haven't seen the finale. That's
okay. So her baby daddy, Strong, the Breakbones.
Yeah.
It's like, for example, like you have a character like that. Like we didn't get enough time with him.
Yeah.
And like you're supposed to really care about his character and her caring about it.
That's because you read you're bringing all this baggage from the books. I didn't care about him.
You didn't care about him?
Not one iota. Not one iota.
But if this was
you're bringing all this book baggage in here, man.
But if this was Game of Thrones proper, that probably would have been a character that you spent more time with.
The only person that they killed very quickly was Damon's first wife.
Yeah.
I was like, she's got a cool. Oh, she's dead.
Yeah, he goes through like 3 wives in 3 episodes.
I'm good.
So you don't feel it?
Nah.
I'm feeling it. But still, amazingly produced show, and they just got lucky with really great actors and stuff. Well, not got lucky. They did a good job casting. There's a new show, Ryan, I want to recommend to you. It's called Peripheral. Peripheral? It's on Amazon.
Okay.
It's by the makers of Westworld, which
okay.
I know you didn't watch.
I watched it, and then I got bored and I stopped. Bored.
It got better, though. Westworld got better. But it's by Jonah Nolan, and I think Lisa Joy is his wife's name. And it's got the gal from Kick-Ass, Hit Girl.
Oh, the lead. Chloe Moretz. Something.
We'll let the right one in America version. But not the show. It's really good.
Okay.
And it's really well colored, and it takes place in 2032. So 10 years from now.
Show?
Yeah. And people can play VR and video games for money. And she's like really good at it, but she's like trying to like not be a gamer like her brother, who's like living in a trailer.
Sounds like Ready Player One and trailers and VR
and. But he gets this new sim, and wants to make money off of it, and like wants her to use his avatar and play it, and so she does, and it takes place in London, 2099 or something, I think. and then something starts to happen where it's like, maybe this isn't a sin, and maybe there's something involved in the sin that's affecting the real world, and it's really cool. It's really, really well done.
All right.
So I like the first. It's one of those things where you're like, wow, that was a really good pilot. I hope it somehow maintains its quality.
We just started watching the most recent season of Shadows, so
Oh, cool.
it's going to be a minute before we can fit another one in there. But
so good.
that's
You
really
got
good.
baby Colin Robinson.
He is so no,
So
he's like
creepy.
full on teenage Lego and
my God.
fairy tales and
He likes Broadway musicals.
yeah, Broadway musicals.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
That show is unbelievable. I've been doing my 31 Nights of Nightmares reviews, Ryan. I thought you'd be very proud of this because I'm introducing these movies to Megan. Some of these, like, I watched as a kid. So, like, my dad let me watch really hard horror as, like, a 4-year-old. So some of these things
Raising them right.
Yeah, some of these things I'm watching now, I feel like I've seen this, but, like, I'm watching with fresh eyes as an adult, so I appreciate it more. We went on a Cronenberg thing, so we watched
Okay.
The Brood.
The Brood's okay.
Very
How'd you do with
disturbing.
the Brood? I mean,
she loved it.
Kids and stuff.
She
yeah.
She felt the girl playing Candace. Megan's like, that girl actually looks really terrified.
Yeah.
By all these little Brood actors,
That's like he went through a terrible divorce. That's the movie.
That was the oh
in
my
child
God.
custody battle.
Yeah. Oh.
So that's the movie you got out of that.
So good. It's about a psychiatrist who uses almost with cult like status. Everyone's following this guy who uses a thing called psychoplasmics to manifest emotions through physical things that are coming off your body.
I love The Brood. I think
Yeah.
it's like one of his
So
best
good.
early movies.
So good. And we follow that up with Scanners.
Scanner's a little bit more. Well, okay.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Which one does she like more?
Probably Scanners.
Okay.
I love this.
Oh yeah.
It's just like,
Michael Ironside.
so Michael Ironside looks so young and so terrifying and so evil.
I mean, they did make sequels that had nothing to do with Cronenberg, obviously, and I've heard they're awful.
Yeah.
But I always thought that was a neat
Such a great
universe and cool tone, and
I love in-universe companies.
Yeah.
Like,
Like
Wayland
Umbrella.
Yutani and Umbrella and
Yeah.
Skynet.
Yeah.
So I love these two competing companies going after each other. I
Yeah.
want to get into shirts
Espionage stuff.
Yeah.
With basically just telepathy, espionage.
Yeah.
It's why aren't we doing more in
Yeah.
this genre? It's fun.
So good.
Yeah.
You could definitely see where Matrix borrowed some from
Right.
this movie.
Right.
And then our last Cronenberg, probably my favorite.
Probably not Videodrome, I hope.
Videodrome.
Oh no, Megan did not do good on Videodrome.
She
did
did
okay?
She did not understand it.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what the new Flesh is.
j-
We are the new Flesh. That's about it. That's all
Death
we
to
know.
Videodrome. Long live the new flesh. But oh man, just the pulsating VHS tape and the TV that's like
belly button
sexy.
vagina.
Oh. And then the handgun with the
Cancer gun.
thing. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Love it. And James Woods is just at his full handsome scumbag, dirtbag, cigarette smoking.
Deborah Harry.
Oh yeah. The Cronenberg uses some real Canadian smoke shows. Forgive my, but just beautiful women who I don't see in many other movies. But it's like,
If you guys are still in the mood, go even further back and watch Shivers.
Shivers. Okay.
Love Shivers. That's like his first movie.
You recommend that over like Dead Zone and other ones, or?
Dead Zone's less of a horror movie. No, I mean Dead Zone's a classic. I love Shivers. I don't know.
Did you see Crimes of the Future yet?
No.
So
I've heard too many like, well, okay.
yeah, it's weird, but I think as a Cronenberg fan, you should see it. But it's cool to watch these old ones again because it's like, oh, Videodrome and Scanner or whatever. Like they're setting up elements for Crimes. Like he makes his own like soft sequels in a weird way. They feel like they could all kind of coexist.
Existence was really slots in there.
Yeah,
Existence. If you guys haven't seen it,
I
or haven't seen it in a while.
haven't seen that one since I was a kid. And then the last two I want to tell you about were White Zombie.
Oh, the original, yeah.
The original, the first zombie movie with Bela Lugosi, and the colors in that we watched the colorized version. The colors
I've only
are
ever
so
seen it black
strange.
and white. Okay.
And just Bela Lugosi's eye acting It's just so great. And I read up on it. And I guess like he was very friendly to his co-stars, but like he would sometimes like take over as the director or like rewrite scenes or like, no, we need to do this.
That sounds right.
And it's just like, well, it was made a year after Dracula. It's like, dude's like one of the biggest movie stars in the world. Like, you gotta just let him do what he wants. So really enjoyed that. And then we watched one of my favorites as a child, Cat People.
Oh, the original.
The original.
I've never seen the original, but I love the remake.
The 82 one?
Yeah.
The original
I gotta watch the original.
So good.
Yeah.
And I remember it terrified me as a child because they do like the Jaws thing where like you don't see the shark in the water. So there's so much stuff of like the panther stalking people, and it's like, is it here? Is it where? And then like in the shadows and things moving.
I definitely want to watch that sooner than later.
So good, brilliant. And then I don't know if you've seen this movie, not The Watcher, because there's a TV show that just came out on Netflix called The Watcher, but a movie just called Watcher on Shudder, with our gal from The Guest and It Follows, Micah Monroe or something.
I know who you mean.
It's great.
Okay.
Very Hitchcockian Rear Window. I think a first-time female director who it took 6 years for her to get this done, and because of the world issues of the last couple of years, they ended up shooting it in Romania, and they changed the script to have it fit in Romania. So good.
Cool.
Love it. And I think that's it.
Romania, I think, is where they just wrapped up The Crow.
The new one?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any Crow comics for sale?
I do.
Which one do you have?
I have a first appearance, 9.6.
What?
Yeah. And I'm looking up, I'm like, is this movie still happening?
With Pennywise.
Bill Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Yeah, it wrapped, so hopefully a trailer soon so I can sell this freaking comic.
That'd be awesome. He's fresh off of Barbarian.
Yeah,
a movie that you and I both love that's dropping on HBO Max, I think, this
week. Check out HBO. Leaving Netflix, His House. Did
Really?
you ever get a chance to see that?
No.
It's leaving, and guess what?
What?
You know how you can watch it?
How?
You can't.
No, nowhere?
Just Netflix.
Why do they do this to us?
Because they hate everybody. His House was tremendous. It was like one of the best horror movies to come out that year. I watched it on a tablet while I was in Hawaii.
Oh wow!
Like on a beach chair, like with the sound of the ocean and everything. Like the most wonderful, like
pleasing
aesthetic. I was still scared, like watching it. Great movie, and nobody will be able to watch it after it leaves Netflix. So I would recommend that. And then I think it's already left, but The Empty Man was also on HBO, and I think it's already gone. But guess what? You know how you watch The Empty Man?
How?
You can't.
Oh. Why?
It was a great movie.
That's why physical media is great, kids. It's terrible. All right, Ryan, close this out. Tell us again what's happening at the end of the week.
Yeah, come everybody on Saturday. Bring your kids. Get some free Halloween comics. And maybe we'll have some candy to hand out too if you want to bring your kids. Yeah, we'll have some candy. I'm saying we'll have some candy.
That's why I wake up in the morning.
And we're gonna have pretty all right collectibles here. Excuse me, with all their lapel pins and toys and stuff. So really good Saturday to come check out the store. Excuse me. I'm still gonna have kind of my curated horror section here. So yeah, I will not be here though. I am busy this weekend. So please no trade-ins or anything like that. I will put that in the newsletter. Otherwise I'll see y'all soon. Come in tomorrow. A lot of good stuff, toys, new comics.
A lot of good scary stuff.
Pick up your books, please. Come pick up your books, and then please don't forget to read them. Yes. Don't forget to read your comic books.
Oh, Ryan, what about the stuff underneath the table? You got some Star Wars stuff?
Yeah, I did. I priced a ton of Dark Horse era Star Wars series. We haven't sold that many. We had some people coming over the weekend and bought some of the higher end ones, but there's still tons of stuff here. It's really cool. It took us a while to process them, so come check it out.
Awesome. Very cool. And sorry guys, this is not live. I'll be posting this as soon as I get home with my good internet. And as always, if you ever need any video, photography, drone, hit up me and Megan at Derek Easley Entertainment. We just won another award, Ryan.
What?
Xanadu Hellfire just won Best Ensemble Cast at the Dos Lagos Film Festival in Corona.
I want to see the award. I want to see it. I want to see the award.
All right, thank you so much for watching, everybody, and we'll see you in the store tomorrow, hopefully with better internet. Bye-bye.